Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A series of stabbing attacks miles apart leaves one woman dead and another man injured. Now we're learning about a frantic manhunt today in Macomb County. Police made the arrest right around noon today. Thanks for joining us for the News at 5. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Let's start here at 5 by going step by step through what happened this morning. The first stabbing happened around 6 o'clock this morning at this Bell Tire location in Roseville. Short time later, police say the same person stabbed a man at a bus stop in St. Clair Shores.
Take a look at this map. These scenes are miles apart, sending police scrambling.
And then a short time later, police in Warren arrested the suspect during a traffic stop on Van Dyke near 9 Mile. Sean Lay live on this story. A lot to go through. Sean.
Absolutely. Let's break it all down for you. This is exactly where that stabbing spree came to an end when Warren police pulled over a car and arrested the stabbing suspect. Now, key questions tonight. Who is he, and were these victims targeted? Cell phone video taken just after 1 this afternoon near Van Dyke and 9 Mile in Warren. Warren police confirmed that this is the arrest of a stabbing spree suspect who killed one innocent woman in Roseville and also attacked a man headed to work in St. Clair Shores. Investigators say this man in the video is this man in this security camera image from Roseville. This car is the car Roseville police pushed a picture out earlier today to warn the public that there was a danger on the loose. First, 6 this morning at Bell Tire in Roseville, a woman with her back turned, filling her tire with air, is brutally attacked by a man with a hunting knife. Multiple stab wounds so bad, she did not survive. Then police say the man drove to St. Clair Shores and at 6:30 this morning attacked a 40-year-old man as he waited for his bus here on Harper near 12 Mile. Police knew they had to get the warning out to spot the suspect before he chose yet another victim. By 1 o'clock, the suspect was still on the move. Warren officers out looking spotted the vehicle, followed it, and made the takedown. It happened right in front of Albert Springer.
I was like, wow, this is right outside our shop. So I was like, wow, you gotta be kidding me. So crazy how close somebody that could really murder out and take out people and stuff out in the neighborhood. It could be so close to home, you know.
You know, Roseville police pushed out a lot of information early when the first victim was found, and then the link was made to that St. Clair Shores attack of a 40-year-old man. And so here, that's where Warren police had a surveillance team out, and sure enough, that car they were looking for drove right by, taking him into custody. He has been the suspect, Devin, Kimberly, handed over to Roseville police along with the car. They're the lead agency on this, and right now, the answers, no answers. They're saying everything here is under investigation. They're looking into it all.
On the investigation side, what do we know about the victims here, Sean?
We know the woman at the Bell Tire is an adult woman, and it took a while today for investigators to identify her and then get to her family to tell them what happened to her. Yeah. The St. Clair Shores man is 40 years old. He's walking to the bus. That's when he was attacked. Now, a person living at his house says he and his dad, he's in the hospital. His dad is with him. He is recovering after surgery today.
Which is terrific. All right, Sean. Let's turn now to new developments on two fronts for the suspect accused of kidnapping and then killing a Detroit nurse.
First, Jameer Miller appeared today in a Garden City courtroom to be arraigned on separate charges. Then we learned the Wayne County prosecutor has received the warrant request in the death of Patrice Wilson. Let's get to Megan Woods. Megan, there's still a long way to go in this case.
Kimberly, a long way to go. So the prosecutor's office says they are reviewing this case, but they are not expecting to make any type of decision on charges this week. In the meantime, you have Jameer Miller, who is now facing 14 new charges in connection to a completely different case. And so now the question is, how does this connect to this murder and kidnapping investigation?
This morning in 21st District Court, Jameer Miller was arraigned on 14 weapon and drug charges in a case handled by Michigan State Police in Taylor. While details regarding the incident are limited, we know it happened February 23rd of this year. And today, Miller was given a $1 million bond. We asked defense attorney Neil Rockkind how this could affect Miller's alleged involvement in the murder and kidnapping of his ex-girlfriend, Patrice Wilson.
If they can trace the guns or ammunition from those cases, can all help police and prosecutors lead to other leads and other potential cases.
This all comes days after a manhunt for Miller in connection to the kidnapping and murder of his ex-girlfriend, Patrice Wilson. Wilson, a nurse at Detroit Receiving Hospital, was heading to her car after a shift around 7:40 Saturday morning. Police say Miller was allegedly disguised wearing a blonde wig and forced her into her car and drove away. Later that night, Patrice was found dead in her SUV parked in her Novi apartment complex. Miller turned himself in the next afternoon. Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is reviewing the case but say charging decisions are not expected to come this week.
The prosecutors have, in many cases, have to make a relatively quick decision because they believe there's a dangerous person who needs to be off the street. In this case, they have the luxury, we'll say, of not having to rush into that decision.
And as soon as the prosecutor's office delivered those charges, we will let you know. Reporting live in Wayne County, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Yeah, a lot to go through here. All right, Megan, thank you.
Well, that is not supposed to be there. That's a 640-foot-long Great Lakes freighter that made an unexpected visit to Belle Isle this morning after losing power in the Detroit River. Almost immediately, people were rushing to the island to check it out. Will Jones live on Belle Isle for us. It was not stuck for long, Will.
Devin, it was quite the sight to see here. You can see it there in the distance. That's where it was moved to after getting back afloat this afternoon. This freighter looks huge from far away. You can imagine what it looked like up close.
Pretty exciting. It's not often you can come down and see a ship 20 feet offshore.
A 639-foot freighter running aground around 7:30 this morning near Belle Isle, attracting dozens of curious spectators with cameras in hand.
So I was in the shipping industry and I heard about it. My friend was down here earlier this morning and caught it, so I said I'll come down and take some pictures of it and see how they pull her out.
According to the owner of the freighter, the Mark W. Barker was carrying salt from Cleveland headed to Milwaukee, and it lost power and maneuverability. The vessel turned to the left unexpectedly. The captain dropped the anchor, and this was the end result. The freighter stuck in dirt.
So we came down to see what was happening.
The Mark W. Barker set sail for the first time last summer. It's the first Great Lakes bulk carrier to be built on the Great Lakes in more than 35 years.
Oh, this is a big deal.
At noon today, working with the United States Coast Guard and a tug, the freighter backed away from the bank and headed toward the Belle Isle anchorage to determine what went wrong. With the freighter out of sight, the crowd quickly cleared out.
Like I said, being a boat nerd, it's always fun to see things happening with the Great Lakes freighters.
Traffic is still moving along on the river with that ship still there. And what is interesting about all this, people are still coming by and saying, is the freighter still here? Yes, it is still here, just in a different spot. Fortunately, there were no injuries aboard that ship, no damage to the ship, and no pollution to the water. Devin?
There are legions of people who ardently follow the Great Lakes freighter traffic. They've got apps for it and everything. Will, any idea how long the ship is going to be anchored then in the river?
Well, yeah, that's the big question. No one knows at this point how long it's going to be here, but I do know that investigators are aboard that ship trying to see what caused this issue to prevent this from happening again. But it was interesting what you said about the apps. I learned so much about ships and apps, how to track them. I didn't know any of this information until now. And they were using terms. I'm like, what is that again? Can you tell me?
Yeah. Oh, it's a club, that's for sure. It's really amazing. Great stuff. What a day on Belle Isle. All right, Bill. Will.
It's like a cult following.
Oh, man,
almost.
yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, you saw how beautiful it was from Will's live shot on Belle Isle. Now take a live look outside from our Ann Arbor sky cam. Just a gorgeous day across Metro Detroit. We did get off to a pretty chilly start today.
It actually felt like that first day in the fall when it just starts to turn cool.
Yeah, I see you got on the sweater vest.
I know. It was a little chilly.
Got on the sweater
I just
vest.
noticed.
I know.
It's sweater weather. Who knew?
I was just about to put it away and thought one more day.
One more day. Yeah.
I don't think we should ever put anything too far away this
Yes.
time. Forget that whole packing away the winter clothes, because you never know when you're going to need need them. And you will need a jacket tomorrow morning, especially the kids when they head off to school, as we will have some frost on the ground in parts of the Thumb down to Macomb County, Oakland, Livingston, and Washtenaw counties, all under a frost advisory. Goes into effect at 2 a.m. until 7 a.m. If you got hanging baskets for Mother's Day, anything that you can bring inside, go ahead and bring it in. If you've planted it, not much you can do. This is not a hard freeze, but it is some frost. It's the only night we're going to have it, though, and then we have a little warm up on the way, and we'll talk about the next chance for rain coming up. But you can always take a peek yourself by going to the Forewarn Weather app. Just go to your favorite app store and type in WDIV.